headed out of Sturgis here. I headed north toward Newell. I forgot to look up the name of the road, but you know, Sturgis and Newell, there's only one road between them, so there you go. You can find it. But anyway, Newell is kind of a shortcut home. You don't have to go all the way over to Spearfish and then back up 85. You just kind of go more straight. So that's what I did. Now this is actually kind of nice country here. It's rolling. It's not the Black Hills. We just left the Black Hills, but it's not dead flat like eastern North and South Dakota. So it's just kind of interesting. And actually, I've got a little surprise at the end of this because I promised last time we were going to go to Slim Butte, and then I got so scared of the road, I said, okay, nope, going on a main road. But this time I actually go there. It was almost too late at night, but I caught enough of it. Not as impressive as I hoped, but you could see it. I am going to speed this up just because it's an hour and a half of footage if I play it at regular speed. And, you know, I hate to say it, people really seem to be enjoying my Black Hills videos. This kind of countryside, not so much. So I'm just going to speed it up. I'm going to run part of it at double speed, and then when we get north of Newell, it just gets... what's a good word? Repetitive. By the way, big biker bar right there. Huge biker bar, which I'm wondering if it's open all year. It sure doesn't look like it. But anyway, it gets... I don't know. I like it. It's very South Dakota-y, but for a lot of people, a synonym of South Dakota-y is flat and agricultural. So, yeah. I'll just speed it up and spare you. As you can tell, the countryside is already flattening out here. And try and make up for it with verbal content. We'll see. I will slow down for Newell. I like Newell, so you're just going to get toured through Newell. It's not cool like Lead or Deadwood or Spearfish, but it's just a nice little South Dakota town that I want to share. I'm also going to slow down for Slim Butte, which is the surprise at the end. And then it got too dark for me to continue filming, so the rest of the trip home, because I hate to say it, but, you know, part of the reason I don't drive too often is anytime I want to go somewhere, it is a long ways. Like if I want to go to Dickinson, I am taking 3 hours out of my day just to sit in a damn car and drive to Dickinson and home. That ignores any of the shopping that I'm doing in Dickinson or whatever else I'm doing in Dickinson. If I want to go down to Spearfish, just Spearfish, we'll forget the canyon, all that other business. I'm almost going to be taking 4 hours out of my day just to sit in a car. You know, it's pretty easy to talk myself out of it. You know, if I want to go somewhere big like Rapid City or Bismarck, we're talking 6 hours in a car just to get there and back. Again, that doesn't count all my time that day in Bismarck or Rapid City. So, yeah, I don't go out as much as maybe I could just because I don't want to spend that long in the car. You know, things are far apart here in the Dakotas, at least this part of the Dakotas, so, you know, I suppose it helps me save money, although I do have the internet, but, you know, sometimes you just, I really want to get out, and then you think, oh yeah, and it'll be dark by the time I get home. Oh yeah, and I gotta waste all that time sitting in a car, so, but I do intend to try getting down to the Black Hills more often. I just do enjoy it there. You know, Bismarck, it's okay, but it's not much. I like Rapid City. I just uncomfortable driving there, especially my car does have some issues that make me nervous about driving there. So we'll see, but I enjoy these small towns. So I gave this something about buying decisions. So in my last video, well, 2 videos ago, I think I held up this a couple of times. This Montegrappa, it's kind of dark in here, I should turn the light on. Fortuna Mosaico collection. I kind of like this turquoise one here. Well, I had somebody mention, wow, Fountain Pen Hospital's kind of expensive, which, you know, maybe they are. I don't know enough about that to know. I have not bought much from them. But I'll just say this. When I buy things, I have this tendency to really think about it a long time. Yeah, I mean, I know I do this review channel of fountain pens. I will also tell you there wouldn't have been as many fountain pen reviews this year if it weren't for Chris Rapp 52, because I just don't buy that many fountain pens. I was going to do more rodeos. In fact, I have a few days off coming up, kind of a fall break. I'm going to film some rodeos where I just compare pens. I'm going to film some notebook stuff, and just to spread it out, because I don't buy 52 pens a year. I know it seems like it, but I don't. And I want to go back and revisit a couple of pens. I kind of got talked into it, so there's that. But yeah, I like to think about it, and I've told you before these little tricks. But there's no harm in bringing it up again. If I'm buying something on Amazon, I'll put it in the shopping cart. In fact, right now Amazon has about $700 worth of stuff in the shopping cart. No, it's not all fountain pens. Oops, excuse me. And it sits in there, it gives me a chance to think about it. And usually most of it comes out. Now, one of the things that's in there right now, no lie, is a Hello Kitty Sailor fountain pen. Well, yeah, that pen is really cool looking. And if it were about $400 cheaper, I would probably be serious about it. But no. So it is cool, though. There's also a Visconti fountain pen I really like for about $700. Yeah, I might look at it, but I'll never buy it. It's discontinued. It's kind of like a twist design, and it's some kind of desert theme to it. I really like the color. The twist design I'm just sort of ambivalent about, but the color was pretty. But again, I know I'm not going to buy it. Well, for $700, I'm not going to buy it. It's still pretty. This is actually, for what it is pretty much outside my limit. Yes, I do have pretty good amount of money coming because I did some reffing, or not reffing, line judging for volleyball, but I don't know if I want to spend it on that, so probably not. But anyway, so I do think about things and consider them a long time. So if you put stuff in your Amazon shopping cart, yeah, you've got that initial, I want. Yeah, when I opened this catalog and saw that pen, I just kind of paged through this catalog, said blah, 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 don't care. And then I saw this and said, ooh! And I have never tried a Montegrappa fountain pen. I've tried their ink. I really like their Bordeaux ink. Nice bottle, nice ink, nice price. But this pen is expensive. So probably not. Now, oh, he's turning off. I was just starting to wonder, what the heck am I doing? So I do pass people sometimes. I just didn't there. Anyway, so yeah, let stuff sit in the Amazon shopping cart or Goulet Pens shopping cart, wherever. I mean, Goulet Pens always has stuff in the shopping basket. That doesn't mean I'm buying it. Anderson Pen, a couple of them, I forget which ones. Like I think Vanessa Pens actually will empty out your shopping cart for you, and then you start thinking, oh wait, what was in my shopping cart? And then you think, okay, well wait a second, if I can't even remember what was in my shopping cart, I probably didn't want it that badly anyway. Stopping here to get gas, because kind of have to, but I am in Newell here, and I chose Senex over whatever that next station is. Sinclair. It's got the dinosaur. So anyway, I have no problem with delaying a buy. Especially with a fountain pen. What's the rush? Okay, once in a while there's a rush. If you're really into going online, yeah, that made it worse. Just a second. But anyway, if you're really into going online, if you do eBay, now I have purchased a few things through eBay, but not a lot of things. I know they do auctions. I've never gotten into an auction. I guess auctions are sort of time dependent, and you kind of have to focus on, yeah, I got to bid high, and I got to be bid at the right time, and it's not like this bargain's going to be there forever. Sometimes you have those things where you're like, oh, yeah, I got to do it now. But I don't shop that way, so it's all okay. So I'm taking you into Newell. I decided to do the whole Main Street, so I'm getting onto Main Street from a side street. And Newell's kind of interesting. Some of the streets are paved, some are not. It's a town I've lived in smaller towns where the streets were all paved, so that's interesting. Um, and I'll just come back to that fountain pen thing because I'm going to keep jumping back and forth if I don't. Or if I do. Or I don't know what I mean, but I mean it. So anyway, headed down Main Street, Newell. Okay, yeah, we're on the edge of Newell. I didn't quite remember because I've never gone onto Main Street from this direction. I didn't quite remember exactly how far in it would be. But I'll tell you why I like Newell. When I first started thinking about moving to the Dakotas, that's a rest home, I think, or a nursing home, I can't remember. Uh, Newell is a lot like what I pictured small towns in North Dakota looking like. Newell has its basic businesses. Now, unfortunately for Newell, it is close enough to Sturgis that it does suffer from competition. It's easy to drive into Sturgis and grocery shop with a lot more selection. But there is a grocery store in Newell. I'm not sure if there's a drugstore. There is a hardware store. There's a few basic businesses in Newell. But again, it's just too close to Sturgis to have more. But still, there's a bar, of course, because every small town has a bar. Even the really sad, dying small towns have bars. And that's it. We're through Main Street. We're out of the businesses or the shopping places anyway. You might have seen there was a motel or hotel or something there. I don't even know if it was open anymore. Some towns it is, like Wing, North Dakota. There's actually a hotel on Main Street. It looks like something out of a Western movie, and it's still functioning, or at least it was the last time I went through Wing. I'm going to get up. I'm going to try a different light, because this is too dark. Okay, yeah, that solved everything. I have some curtains closed that should be open, and they're not. Because I've been at school all day, and, yeah. So we're driving out of Newell. And so why don't I get back on topic? So I was talking about the buying and the electronic shopping cart and everything. So a lot of times you just really want something, and then after you think about it for a while, you just say, oh, yeah, I don't really want it that badly anyway. Imagine if I was trying to drive west and film. This is what it would all look like. Ugh. So anyway, I find that really helpful. Now, as far as what do I look at when I buy a fountain pen? Well, I'll tell you what I look at for a few things. One of them, eBay. I was just finishing up eBay when I got distracted there. Let me just finish the eBay thought before I tell you what I'm looking for with a fountain pen. The eBay thing, I haven't done a whole lot of auctions, but people will miss out on auctions if they don't immediately buy. So my suggestion, and this is not coming from experience, if you're an eBay person, have a budget for eBay for every month and just stick to it. Yes, the pen of a lifetime may come along, and once in a while, maybe you have that fund set aside. But overall, just stick to this budget and call it good. And if you miss an auction, oh well, next month there's another one. That's what I would say for you eBay people, because you can't plan, do I or don't I want this pen? Oh gosh, I don't know. Oh, sorry, it's gone. Somebody else bought it. So you do have to be more in the moment. Not totally experienced, like I said, but anyway, that's eBay. So my suggestion, I already gave you my suggestion. Sorry, I'm tired. I should never film these after a whole day of teaching. It just fries my brain. I came home to do something mindless like cook, and the chicken's frozen, so here I am filming this while the chicken thaws. And anyway, so budget that. Budget everything, but eBay, you can't evaluate the purchase the way you may want. We're doing 4 times speed here. So you just, can't evaluate the way I'm talking about through most of this video. That's a different animal. And that's why I don't like that animal. Yes, I've had some expensive impulse purchases. This Centro pen, that was very impulsy. But I had the money kind of set aside for that idea, and I saw it, and honestly, it wasn't as impulsive as I make it sound, because I had wanted to try it, because I'd read good things about vintage Central pens. So when I saw one, I jumped on it. All right. So anyway, with the rest of this, what do I look for in a fountain pen? Well, I'll tell you. Part of me is thinking of reviews. I'll just be honest. I have bought a few pens. I got criticized for buying a Jinhao 159 and complaining about it being too big. And one of the commenters said, well, it's all online. It's your fault if you don't know how big it is. Yeah, I knew how big it was. I bought it anyway to review it because it was cheap, and I was curious if I would like a pen that size. I buy pens to try them, especially with the cheaper pens like the Jet Pens Chibi. I bought entirely to try it. I am looking at buying the metal version down the road one of these days to try it. They're low enough cost. I originally bought a Noodler's Conrad to try it, and I like them. Actually, when I first started buying Noodlers, the Conrad didn't even exist. I was buying the Nib Creeper. I used to have a whole bunch of them, but I've given them away or something. Anyway, this was, I really wanted to try the acrylic Noodler's Conrad. Still have it. This is kind of on my list of pens I might give away, though, because I just realized, well, it's a lot of Conrads and they're all the same, basically, so why do you need them all for? I like to look at filling mechanisms. Now, my favorite is a piston. That's part of why I liked the Conrad, because, I like the blind cap, awesome piston. That's something that'll appeal to me. A unique filling mechanism might appeal to me. That's what got me interested in the TWSBI VAC 700 and the Pilot Custom 823 is the vacuum filler. Sometimes a pen might have a unique finish. I like the Platinum 3776. I wanted a broad nib. I considered getting that special edition, whatever the latest one was that's blue, but I changed my mind when I saw this actually, this was cheaper than that pen. I love this koi, not goldfish. I misspoke when I said that in the review, but I really liked this koi finish, so I bought it. And, at that price, it was hard to turn down. But again, I knew I wanted it broad in the Platinum. I planned for it. And when I happened to see this finish at that price, I said, yep, it is time. It's just not the pen I expected it to be, which is okay. It's turned out well, except for the whole ring thing, which I'm going to address someday down the road, soon, hopefully. This Marquant, kind of that appealed to me just because of the whole Eastern European thing, which also is part of the Central Pen thing. Now, why do I have a Lamy Safari? Well, okay, this doesn't tick all the boxes because I'm not a huge fan of these converters. I definitely don't like cartridges. But I'd heard so much about the Lamy Safari, I really, really wanted to try one. So I bought one, and I bought this one because it was the Coral, the special edition. It was just kind of different. And, it's still around, still using it. This one is totally appealing to me because of the finish. I don't own a turquoise pen. I think it would be kind of cool to buy it in broad and use it with turquoise ink. But at the same time, I'm also thinking, okay, regular cartridge converter, which I'm not a big fan of. I use them, but they're not my favorite. It's also a steel nib at quite a high price, so a lot of strikes against it, which, as pretty as it is making me think maybe not. I might watch a few of the really detailed reviews and give me a chance to think about it some more, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm thinking I may end up not buying that. Let's see what else is interesting. I kind of got into there are a few pens I just absolutely wanted to try. Lamy 2000. And wow, am I glad I did. This is still my daily writer. I purchased a lot of, Pilot Metropolitan I purchased as a cheap pen to take places. Kaweco Sport I purchased as a pocket pen. And I used it a lot in the summer as my daily writer. Kaweco Sport, or I just said that, Quebeco All Sport, kind of the same thing, but a little pricier. But again, I found one at a decent price, and that's when I purchased it. Because that's another consideration for me is price. I have a budget. If I buy a more expensive pen, I can't buy cheaper pens, and the pens are actually just part of a fun budget. And if I buy a really expensive pen out of the fun budget, then I'm not going to have any fun that month. So that's one of those things I think about. There's a few pens I have kind of a list of pens I would love to try. I'd really love to try a Pelikan M800. I just can't get past the price on those things. Now, Mont Blanc 149 is not on that list. It'd be neat to try, but I don't have a whole lot of interest in that. I can't really explain why. The pen just doesn't appeal to me at all. Wouldn't turn one down if it was handed one, but I'm just not that excited about it. I'd really like to try a couple of the Sailor pens. I have mentioned I'm really interested in the Kaya. I once saved for a Nikaya. I went many, many months without buying any pens and really limiting my fun budget just to save up for a Nikaya. Got there, and then I said, whoa, yeah, I don't want to spend that. So I didn't. And I'm still kind of that way. I might save up for a Nikaya again. It was a good exercise for me. Just that whole act of saving with a goal in mind like that, with such a substantial amount of money like that, and it's not like the regular trickle of a car. You always are saving for your next car and whatnot. This was an actual, I'm going to make serious sacrifices to save up for this pen quickly. And, for a long time, my pen buying was totally out of the Nikaya money. It wasn't even out of the fun budget. So what? Interesting nibs. That's another one that'll get me. I wanted the Platinum Broad because I didn't own a Broad Platinum. I just wanted one. I really like it too. I bought a soft medium Platinum, soft fine. I actually do not own a regular fine. Interesting. This Centro pen, part of it was the nib. Very super flexible nib. A couple of these vintage pens I bought just because, really curious about vintage. Esterbrook, actually I didn't buy the Esterbrook, that was given to me, but I bought parts for it to learn how to repair a pen because I had to replace the J-bar. And I bought some nibs. I bought a sack, although the sack in it turned out to be in good shape, so I guess I have a spare sack for down the road. It is getting me thinking. I got into this sort of looking for what pens I like, and I'm kind of there. And now I'm starting to think, okay, what's next with this journey? And repairing vintage may be part of that journey. But then when they're repaired, what do I do with them? So I need to start thinking about how I could give pens away. Maybe get into the selling thing, although honestly you do not, unless you're really lucky, you don't make money selling fountain pens on eBay. You probably don't even break even selling pens on eBay, but that is something I'm going to consider, just maybe selling some. Unique finish, here's another one that was a unique finish, this Visconti Homo sapiens, volcanic rock. Now, a couple issues with it. One is the finial, the magnetic finial came off. Well, the whole thing has become demagnetized, which I don't know how that happens, but it did. I've looked inside the cap. I don't see anything loose. I just don't understand. I've tried recharging it with a neodymium rare earth magnet, and no luck. I did buy something to put in there, so it's not the original. It came with it. Who knows where that fell? But I may do that. And it's a vac filler, I can't remember if I showed you this in the review, but it's definitely a vacuum. Not quite like the Pilot Custom 823, because you don't have to leave it unscrewed, but no vacuum. And the nib is sort of unique. I bought a Delta Serena, I'd never tried that brand before. That's part of why I was interested in Montegrappa. I've never used a Montegrappa pen before. I really, I don't know. I'm listing a whole bunch of random brands right now. And it's probably a little boring because look at the countryside here. This is not the interesting part of South Dakota, although it's between interesting parts. So, I continue my pen buying journey. I'm starting to understand why Matt Armstrong now does seasons, because you do reach that point where, I just don't really want to. I just want to enjoy what I have and don't want to buy any others. But that's where the rodeos and some of the other stuff would come in. And that's why I'd like to get into some more vintage pens, maybe do some repairing, because then I would have other kind of fountain penny type content. I wish now that I'd filmed myself replacing the J-bar. I didn't think of it. I was just like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen here, so we'll just do this quietly and anonymously, and if it fails, I'll never tell anybody a thing. Well, okay, so this whole video started out about buying. And I hate being a consumerist type of channel, but in a way, that's kind of what this is. I know I'm encouraging some people to buy pens. Hopefully I'm also encouraging some people to not buy pens. I've said before, my niche in the reviewing world is the really short review. Yeah, I want to get a taste of this pen, and maybe I'll investigate it further. Maybe I will see enough there that I don't. You go to a Matt Armstrong or a Stephen Brown, they're going to have, or Fig Boot on pens, they're going to have a much more detailed review of the pen. I won't. They're also more likely to have a class of pens that I don't review as often. I don't pass people very often, but yeah, that one was way too slow for me. Anyway, I'm your gateway drug, but I'm hopefully also the review that makes you say, yeah, no, not interested. And if you are interested, pursue it better. And I've kind of enjoyed the vintage thing because, most of you will not be able to find a Marquante. I imagine they're around, but they're just not that easy to find. Last I checked, I was still the only review of the Marquante 7720 on YouTube. I have looked. So far, there are no reviews of this Centro pen. There are other Centro pens, but not this kind. So, that's part of it, too, is I'm giving you a unique look at pens. And buying the pens that everybody's buying is a little less appealing. Now, a few of them, yes, I'm really enjoying the Homo sapiens. And it's been kind of fun when people loan me pens. That Omas that I reviewed, that was an awesome pen to review. I didn't really care for how it looked, but I sure loved writing with it. Even though, as somebody pointed out, I was writing with it wrong, that was still a pretty nice nib. Still, I think the Centro pen has a better nib, but still. So I enjoy that. And what I've really been enjoying, more than the reviews and the chance to try pens, just some of the comments. I've gotten to somewhat know people through this channel. People I might not have interacted with. Now you see a little bit of Badlands there. I'm really enjoying that. There's a regular commenter from Texas. I've gotten to know Chris Rapp a little bit. He's I don't know if he said where he is, so I'll keep my mouth shut. But he's from the East Coast, we'll say that. He lives in a different world from me. I've gotten to know a few teachers through this. Just that social thing. I've enjoyed. I'm active on a couple of fountain pen forums again as Wasky Squirrel or Wasky the Squirrel on the forums. YouTube wouldn't let me do Wasky the Squirrel when I joined. Anyway, I've enjoyed interacting with the people. The comments. I know people have complained about comments, and I know what a sewer YouTube comments are. So far, my comments have not been a sewer. There was one video many years ago, but I've hidden that video because it had copyrighted music, and as I said before, I'm more conscious of that kind of thing now. I guess I've been lucky. You get a few, like on these driving videos, I've gotten a few comments like, "Well, that was a whole lot of nothing," and okay, it's not your cup of tea, don't watch it. Sorry. But the social thing's been good. Now I'm not. I don't have lots of fancy equipment. I would struggle to work with another YouTuber on a co-video where we're both talking at the same time. Maybe it could be done, but if you knew how bad my internet connection is, it's probably never going to happen. I have Skyped with my brother, but it's sort of weird and laggy, and then it goes, and then we're lagging again. So I don't know if I'll ever get into that part of it. Might be neat to try it once. Who knows? But I'm not a big name reviewer. And that's been kind of neat too. As I've been doing this, I've been learning more about photography. I've learned more about videos. I've learned more about presenting myself and how I speak. I go back and I watch these videos and I say, oh, yeah, you're going a lot. That's a big one for me. Another one is that weird little stammer I do. My students even notice it. I mean, it's something I do. I don't even realize I'm doing it. Sometimes I'll stammer the same thing over and over and over again, and just, whoa, your needle's stuck in a groove. Those of you too young may not catch that reference. I just did again. See, I wouldn't have noticed that at the beginning. It's been good learning the eye contact thing. I am sort of making eye contact with my face, and the camera lens is right there. Yeah. That's been something to be conscious of. Now, I'm going to pause that. We're coming up on Slim Butte here. Slim Butte is part of Custer National Forest. And you're saying, where's the forest, dude? On top of the butte. That's kind of a cool thing about Custer National Forest. This is your landscape. Then you look up on the buttes, there's the forest. And you go west into Montana, and it's even better that way. Cave Hills are kind of the same way too. I've kind of taken you through the edge of the Cave Hills, but you didn't really get to appreciate it. Cave Hills in South Dakota, forest on top, flat on the bottom. And over in Montana, I love the town of Ekalaka. Such a cool little Montana town. And it's all forested around it, and yet Ekalaka itself, you'd almost think you're in a desert. You go south and east, you go through Camp Crook. Part of that, I almost felt like I was in the Rocky Mountains, part of that drive. And you haven't seen that drive because I haven't filmed it. The last time I drove it was before I got this dash cam. But spectacular drive. Probably not going to compare to my Needles Highway and Iron Mountain Highway drives. You'll see them sometime this winter. But very nice anyway. So Slim Butte is kind of a really long but skinny butte with very, very, very steep sides. We're going to go through a pass through Slim Butte. I like to think that back in the old days when people were using horse and buggy and wagons and all that, covered wagons, maybe they used this pass, I don't know. But that's what I like to think. There's also hiking up there, which earlier in the trip I've been thinking, hey, that might be neat to do at the very end. And then by the time I got here, it's almost dark, and I said, oh, no, not so much. We'll save that for another time, but I want to take my camera along, too, when I do it. I don't know what kind of views are along the trail, but it's all along the top of the butte, so I would imagine if the trail designers were thinking at all about tourists, they did design views into the path. If you've ever been to Devil's Tower, they definitely designed views into the path around Devil's Tower. views of Devil's Tower and the countryside around. That's a very nice hike, by the way, if you ever get a chance. That's another place I should take you and have not been to in a few years. So, yeah, there's lots of places to explore, but honestly, I'm not going to be able to top Needles Highway. After you see that driving video, it's just not, you'll never want to watch another one again because they won't be good enough. So we're in the pass. I'm not real sure. I should have researched it before I filmed this. What the rock is on Slim Butte. Part of it is, of course, Badlands. I mean, that's not rock, obviously, but yeah, I didn't research the geology of this area right here. But it's still kind of cool that the trees are only at the top of the butte, not on the prairie down below. But you can also see that the light is fading, and so it won't be long that this video will be done. It's really nice on this other side of the butte. I wish the light had lasted a little bit longer because you see some very western-looking countryside, especially on the shortcut I took to get over to 85. It just very nice countryside, but again, just too dark. You couldn't make anything out anymore. But another time. And I think part of the fun here could be coming back in a different season. I'm definitely going back to Needles Highway in a different season. I think traveling to Needles Highway is done though for now because they close that thing in the winter for reasons that will be obvious when you see the video. So I'll get to enjoy it in the winter with you when I film the footage for that, or film the narration for that. My next series of videos, I'm going to take you up to Beulah, North Dakota. We'll skip the first part due to heavy fog. It'll be a lot of rolling prairie type countryside, so I may speed it up. But take you through a couple neat little towns like Elgin, Mott. Glen Ullin will just skirt the outside, but Glen Ullin I didn't care for a whole lot. Beulah, and then the real cap to that trip was going west along Highway 200. So if you're ever in North Dakota, don't take Interstate 94. Take Highway 200. It's slower. You go through a lot of towns. But wow, is that nice. I'm trying to remember why I was going slowly here. I'm wondering if there was a deer or a pheasant or something. Who knows? It's been too long since I filmed this. I don't remember anymore. But anyway, Highway 200 in North Dakota is quite a nice drive. Take you through probably not like Lead, but some very nice towns. Dodge is a favorite of mine. Zap, well, supposedly it's the site of North Dakota's only riot, but there have been some issues with the pipeline protest, which is a current event right now as I film this. I don't know if it's a current event when you're watching this, but that has some potential to turn ugly, and there has been some ugliness with it already. So Zap may lose its claim to being the site of North Dakota's one and only riot. I hope not. I hope that stays the case, but events will tell. So the light's fading. I'm fading. I'm pretty sure my chicken is thawed by now, and I'm hungry, so I'm going to go off and make chicken carbonara for supper. And I've never made it before, so that'll be fun. And we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.